Hiya team, welcome back to HG Designs Crochet, HGDC. I'm Heather. I have this thing about pink and granny squares and leopard print, and here we talk about everything granny squares and motherhood and business and finance and prepping and basically anything granny square related through the lens of my life. So if you want to grab yourself a project and keep me company, we are going to go through some of the things that I've been working on this last month. We are coming towards the end of May. And I have a few little bits and bobs to share with you. We have got some finished objects that you've not seen yet, and a pattern that I have created and already sent out for testers. We have new yarn and a couple of other bits and bobs going on. Okay, so let's jump into, we'll do the finished objects and then we'll talk about the inside HGDC bit. Okay, so finished objects, I have a ton of them. Are you ready? Are you ready? 'Cause I am. Here we go team. I have got a ton of frilly dishcloths. I am very excited and proud to show this to you. Now, let me talk about them and I'll give you the bit of the backstory. This one is using like a double knit or an Aran cotton. They are all 100% cotton. And it is a very quick, very simple, cute pattern. And I actually wrote up the pattern and sent for testers. But we'll come on to that in a bit. I'm just so proud of myself for getting it all done. I have made an orange, a pink, a lilac that is a 4-ply. This one, I'll go with double knit on that one, double knit in the light pink, double knit in this green, double knit yellow. It's either double knit or Aran, these chunkier ones. It might be Aran. I've got another green, I've got a turquoise. I have this colour which is a bit unfortunate because it looks a bit dirty before it begins. I think that's double knit. Another turquoise double knit, that's more like a Tiffany blue. And then I have a yellow 4-ply as well, and they are all there, beautiful. And on top of that, I've also made some white with a black frill on them. I've got two there, one slightly bigger than the other, and should be in here. And I made two bigger ones as well. So most of them have their ends woven in other than some of the 4-ply ones, because I made a stack for the pattern and then I've continued making some. So the ones that have the black edge are for cleaning, such as the toilet and floors. And I put a black edge on them so that when Brad wants to grab a cloth, he knows my system as well. And then anything colourful like this can be used on dishes or potentially our body. It's up to us. But I like to keep whatever is going to be cleaning the toilet and the floors separate from what will then be cleaning our dishes. So it means that I will wash these with all of my cleaning rags and like the pads for the steam mop and things like that. And then these will get washed with the tea towels and bits and pieces. So that system appeases my germy. I have a bit of a germ phobia and I am very honest about that. So I like to keep things separate. What do you think? I made some bigger ones because these are ideal for cleaning up the floor, ideal for wiping Albie's feet when he comes in because I'm thinking ahead to the winter months, and they are ideal for when I just have a bigger surface that I need to cover. So sink and floor potentially. Really pleased with them. Definitely going to make more because I know that we'll get a lot of use out of these. And then I have an old wet bag that I used to put Teddy's wet clothes in when we were out and about. And I'm going to put all of the dirty cloths in there and then when I'm ready I can then put them all in a wash together, because sometimes I just hang them out to dry even when they're dirty, and at least they're dry, and then I can put them in the washing machine if the washing machine is busy. And now I also have the option to put them in the wet bag. So why am I making so many cloths? Well, it's like a double, I've got tape everywhere. Multiple reasons, but mainly because I am on a mission to be prepped for my family. I want us to be prepped, ready, set, sorted to go, resilient, whatever may come. We have some sort of safety net, some sort of comfort, some sort of protection. And in doing that, I am looking at items that we use a lot and how can I make it more cost effective. So rather than buying kitchen towel, rather than buying sponges, I would rather make them. These are cotton, they can go in the composting bin after. I did query in my Discord group whether having colourful dishcloths was okay or not. Like, am I going to dye our food and our insides? Am I going to do us a disservice by using these? But loads of people said it's fine. It is 100% cotton. Hopefully the dyes are not going to harm us. And to be honest, they look really cute as well. So not only is it going to save us money because I won't need to buy kitchen towel and the sponges and whatnot, it's also a way that I can use up some of my cotton yarn, because the other part of being prepped is I've been going through every area of our home and asking, do we need this? Does it serve us? Do I love this item? And trying to clear out a lot. So I actually have another video for you of me going through my stash and trying to figure out what to do with it. There's certain bits that I want to use up, certain bits that I'm thinking of selling. There's whips that need frogging. And I have an entire Calex cube full of cotton yarn. So I was thinking, right, how can I reduce this down? So I was like, yeah, dishcloth sounds like a good idea. And I have made a lot of them, definitely. However, do you want to see how much I've got left? This entire thing, which is quite heavy, is full of cotton yarn. And I have a little bit more in another place within my stash as well. And it is, there's just so much of it, so many colours. A lot of them are just one skein balls as well, or I might have a couple in the same colour. Yeah, and this is having already given a lot away as well. I originally bought it because I was going to make granny square crochet cotton. I was originally going to make granny square patterns with it and changed my mind, and I am now looking for patterns that can absorb this. So if you have any ideas what I can use up a lot of this on, please let me know. There isn't enough to make a garment unless I make it very scrappy, very patchwork type vibes. I'm thinking I will make another huge batch of these and quite a lot of these, and I will possibly make some bigger cloths this size in colourful, and they might become tea towels. I need to make one and try it and see what it's like drying dishes, and then that might be a way to use up a big bulk. Like I could make a tea towel out of that because there's quite a bit there. And then the other option is that I pass some of it on, or that I just store it in a vacuum bag in the loft, and then once these start to look raggedy, then I can go and get my stash out and make some more, because there's enough here that surely this would make me enough dishcloths to last a lifetime, surely. And then if I take a lot of it out of here and store it safely in the loft, then this is space for other things that I actually want to work on right now. So yeah, there's that. If you have any ideas on projects, please do let me know. I did make a few of these dishcloths as well. They're just granny stripe ones. I don't mind that they have holes, but they're not it just doesn't look as cute, and that's why I was like, oh okay, I'm gonna try doing the frilly. And of course they were inspired by my frilly pouch and my frilly cushion, and I'll share more of those soon. So because I was on a roll with this, I decided I would make it into a pattern. I am trying to put together the freebie section on my website. I know that for a lot of people, sometimes they just don't have the money for a pattern, and I'd like to have a few free ones available to people. So this will be one of them. I wrote it all up and I took photos and I've written up the pattern, and I called for testers yesterday. So when you see this, testing will have already started. If you want to be a tester, then you need to sign up to my email address. I have a Facebook group, I post in there, I email my testers, though on this occasion I didn't because I only needed a couple of people. And I always post on either Instagram or Discord because I always try and take at least one new tester each time. So I don't need any testers right now, but in the future there are always projects to test. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, Brad has been doing some additional hours in the evening. So when he's out working, if Teddy goes to sleep at a reasonable time, I have been working as well. And it just meant that I got this pattern written up. And these are so easy to make that I have just been making them alongside doing day-to-day things with Teddy. If he's playing with something and I've got 5 minutes, I'll sit down and I'll start working on one. If we're waiting anywhere, like just grabbing 5 minutes here and there, you can make this stash. So it's really, really cool. It's not cleared out as much of my stash as I thought it might though. So that is the finished object and main thing really that I've been working on this last month, other than getting my frilly pattern finished. So I think I'll segue into works in progress, and then we'll go to inside HGDC. So again, carrying on with the whole stash diving, using what I've got, and holding in mind whilst I'm doing that I want to make sure that we have warm layers, that we have blankets, that I'm using my stash to make hand warmers and scarves and cardigans and things that I can pull on and bundle up under for this coming winter. I have this thing in my heart and mind that this winter is going to be brutal, that it's going to be cold, and that I need to be prepared. So with that in mind, I've been stash busting. One of the things I've been working on is a blanket for my teddy boy. I wasn't sure if I was going to share this because I wasn't, as I discussed before, I find once I've shared projects with you, I just go off them. But there's no shame in me changing my mind in what I am and I'm not working on. And this one is a goer, so I'm now happy to share it with you. My teddy boy, my darling teddy, is going to be 3 early June. And we have been discussing what to get him for his birthday. We were not sure what to do or what to get him. I wanted to get him a little item. I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and there isn't many things that he needs at this point either. So we have agreed that we're going to be setting up his stocks and share ISA, so he'll have his savings account and he's also going to have an investment account, and we will contribute to that. And then future him hopefully will be able to use that towards whatever life expenses, marriage, home, travelling, whatever. But I still wanted to get him a little present, just a little something, and I've been asking him what he wants, and he's told me a couple of items, and then he said he wanted a blanket of his own. So during the evenings we snuggle under blankets, and I have a big fluffy one. And I said, what blanket do you want? And he said he wanted a colourful one. So I was like, okay. And I was having a look, and then I thought, why don't I just make him one? And he had actually said to me that he loves the granny square one. He says he loves Mama's crochet, because I crocheted him a baby blanket. He said he wanted a big one, and he didn't even drop, like, the thought didn't took a while for me to join the dots, and then I was like, I'll make you one. So I have made this big stack of granny squares, and I am going to join them together for his birthday. So I'll show you all of the colours that I have gone with. I've gone with all the yellows and the blues and the greens and reds. This one is actually a green, and then he's got like this copper. This is Brick by Yarn Smiths. This one I think is the gold, antique gold. This is like wine or something like that. I've gone all through my stash, picked out all these different colours. And this is going to be his birthday blanket, and it's actually great timing because we are in the process of setting up his bedroom. We won't have it set up for his birthday, that's not my intention, but this blanket is most likely going to live on his bed, so that'll be really cute. No colour is repeated, they are all different, and it's all just from stash diving. And actually it didn't use up a lot of yarn from each ball, but it has meant that I've taken out a decent chunk, my arm's aching, from my stash, so that's pretty cool. And in total there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. There's 34 squares in total, and they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares, 8 rounds, and there's 34 squares. And I just gonna lay them out in a formation, and I'm going to join them using the continuous join as you go method, and I have purchased yarn to join them. My hay fever is making me want to sneeze, but I can't. So I bought joining yarn for them, and I'll show you that now. It's in this giant bag. I have held off opening it all week, and we're finally gonna open it. I ordered from Wool Warehouse, and I have got 20 balls of the Yarn Smith Create in cream. It's the double knit in cream. They had some sort of something or the other going on, and there was a sale. I can't remember how much it was per ball, but I spent £35.80 on 20 balls of it. Let me just check the colour. It's a little bit, hang on a second. Oh, that is not that colour. Surely not. I think I should have gone off-white. I'm so upset now. On the peg, cream does not look very creamy. So cream, not off-white. Let's Teddy's blanket. And honestly, when I hold this up, cream looks closer to it than the off-white. Like white looks a bit too stark. But I want it in off-white. shut the front door. It's too creamy. It's got too much of a hint of yellow and I wanted it more neutral. So I'm going to email them and say I've selected the wrong colour and I actually wanted off-white. And can I return it and swap it? But I'm assuming they're going to say I need to reorder it. And I bet it's not on offer anymore. It does look like cream. But when I've got the whole ball here, I feel like it's got too much yellow in it. I feel like it's too yellowy. Can you see? Like it's got too much of a yellow undertone and I want it more on the white. But when I was looking at the pegs, I thought that the off-white was too stark. I need to get off-white. That's so gutting. So I'm going to return that. That's gutting. Never mind, these things happen. And then my reason for ordering so much of it is because I also want to join this big, huge, massive blanket in the same colour. So it'll be off-white. And this is going to go either on our bed or on the sofa. And yeah, I'm gutted about that. And also I don't have long left to get Teddy's birthday blanket done. So that's annoying. I know I'm going to have to pay to return it, but I don't want to keep 20 balls of that colour. So either way, I'm going to be at a loss. I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed. I was so looking forward to starting to put that together and I'm so annoyed that I've done that. Anyways, so I've ordered 20 balls because I had a budget of 40 quid and I decided to go to the £35 and make it a round number of balls that I receive. I'm going to put this one together. I'm going to put Teddy's blanket together, and I also wanted to use some of it to redo a project that I had started. I started joining a granny square garment in Aran. Oh my goodness. I started joining one of my projects in Aran and it was in a similar colour, more like the off-white. Because I had a larger quantity of it and that's the joining colour I decided to go with. But because my squares are double knit and the joining colour was Aran, I was using a 3.5mm hook and I just wasn't enjoying it. So I decided instead to put extra yarn in this order so that I can take out the Aran and continue in double knit. So it's going into at least 3 projects, maybe more depending on how much each blanket uses. I don't know at this point, I'm just guesstimating. So I got to return that. I'm really gutted. I just wanted to sit tonight and start. Like I'd got so much done with my work and then my reward to myself was to start his blanket and I'm gonna have to wait. Never mind. The other work in progress that I have been working on, other than Teddy's blanket and some cloths for myself, is I have been working on using up my stash. And as I said, I've got a stash video coming to you. And one of the stash yarns that I've picked to work on first is this one. It's this pink tweedy yarn and it's Shetland tweed in chunky, and it's, I don't know if it has, it's just shade 1422, but it's this pink and it's got black and brown and hot pink peps in it. And I have tried to make numerous things out of this. So I bought this yarn because I saw, when I was visiting my grandmother, I saw a pattern in one of her magazines. I was like, I want to make it, let's go get the yarn. And then when I was there, I just decided I was going to get pink yarn. And I wish I'd just got neutral because yes, I have pink hair and yes, I wear pops of colour. But generally, I like to wear neutral clothing and then have like a colourful accessory. And if it's not my hair, then it'll be like just a little colourful something. And I don't tend to wear bright pops of colour. I'm just a neutral girly and I like my textures and I like to be warm and cozy, and I don't know that I'm going to wear this. So I started this one, which is my, this is a, it's not my pattern. I purchased this pattern from Petite Knits and it's like the Wednesday sweater or something. I started making this when I was postpartum and I picked a sizing based off the way my body was at that time, and it's not necessarily the size that I might pick now. And then I messed up the rib, so when I was binding it off I did it in such a mess, and so I'm going to need to take that apart, and I was so annoyed that I kind of just stopped working on it. And this was like 2 years ago. I have no idea what needle size I was using, and I don't actually know that I want to continue and finish it. So then I thought, well, I'll just make an oversized cardigan. So I found a free pattern and I started it and realised that this was too small. So then I picked up, started an even bigger size, which is here. And I've done this much, and the plan is that it would be sort of to mid-thigh. It will have a zip and a little bit of a v-neck. So I'm going to make some slight modifications to the free pattern. But I'm not going to lie, last night and this morning I was looking on Ravelry and just thinking, is this the best choice of pattern for this project? And I feel like I'm in a constant state of overwhelm when it comes to the yarn, because I'm like, have I made the best yarn and pattern combo choice? Could this yarn be used for something better? Could I find better yarn for this pattern? Do I have enough yarn for this pattern? Am I going to reach for it? Am I going to wear it? Is it worth my time? And so I just keep half starting things and then putting them down, and it's quite frustrating because when I go through my stash and my abandoned works in progress, if I was to combine all of those hours, I would have 2 or 3 finished items, like of quite intense knitting, like cables and Aran sweaters, but I just keep abandoning them. And I just don't know what to do with this. I don't know whether to continue or frog it. Part of the problem is that I don't think I will wear this colour. And I was saying to myself, it doesn't matter if I think I'll wear it because I can just put it over pyjamas when I'm in the house. But even if no one's really going to see me, I'm going to see it and I care and I want it to be like really nice, really beautiful. So I just don't know what to do with this yarn. I am leaning towards winding it all up and putting it on Vinted, and then whatever money I get from it is whatever money I get for it, because it's all been, most of the balls have been started, most of the ball bands have come off, but there is nearly a kilo worth of yarn. There's one that still has the ball band on. There's nearly a kilo of it, so I thought even if I get a tenner, then I've gotten something and it's come out of my stash, because I just don't see myself wearing it, and I just don't see myself, even if I make a blanket, I can't see me reaching for the blanket. So it might be time to just say enough is enough, sort this out and list it on Vinted. I spent yesterday morning listing stuff on Vinted, and within a couple of hours I was 120 quid up, and I've made a decent amount of space. So what do you think I should do with this? Part of me wants to use it up because I purchased this yarn when I could not afford it. I put it on a credit card and I feel like I should use it. But the other part of me is also acknowledging how far I've come with my finances and how different my tastes are now, and maybe just to make peace with it and just let it go, because there's so many other projects in there that I could be working on, and this would then clear up quite a bit of space in my stash, and maybe I would get a tenner or something for that yarn. Anything's better than nothing, right? I feel a little bit dejected now. Wrong colour, probably just gonna let that yarn go. I've gifted a lot of my yarn on, so I think if I'm going to let that one go, I'm just going to list it and see if I can get a couple of quid for it or something. That moves me onto inside HGDC. I've got a frilly cloth here that I just finished. This is the frilly cloth that I made for the photos in my pattern, and that moves, we are now moving on to my inside HGDC section. Oh, and Teddy's on his way home. I don't feel like I've made the best use of this time at all. I sent out an email to everybody on my email list this last week, talking about everything that was going on. So I've got my frilly pouches, which are here. These are this month's sub squad pattern. So I set up the sub squad so that I could have a way to create a regular income from HGDC, and the whole premise behind it was that I wanted some stability and I wanted to be able to put out patterns and have a community based around it. So I put out a pattern every second month, and you sign up on my website. It is only £10. You sign up, you get the instant download of whatever pattern we are currently on. Then you also have a Zoom chat every 2 months as well. And this is the current pattern. There are 3 sizes to choose from. It's 100% crocheted and there is a zip, and you can use these for your notions and to organise your project bags. And there's a needle hanging out of this one. So that's this month's pattern. I'm really pleased with it, and I know that everybody is really happy with it, and I've also had some new sign-ups. So I want to say here a huge thank you to everybody who's in my sub squad. Thank you so much for each and every single one of you for being here, for signing up, and I can't wait to see you in the Zoom call as well. I also mentioned in my email that I have started a Discord group, and we have loads of different channels in there, and we could talk about all different things. So I have a channel for testers where myself and others can find testers. I have a channel where we can discuss prepping, we can discuss crochet and knitting and stash busting and all the other things, and I'm really enjoying that. I am actually going to close my Facebook group, which is I Heart Granny Squares, because I just don't spend the time on that platform. I'm still going to keep my Facebook test group on there because that group works really well for testing purposes. But if I don't have a test going on, I don't go on the platform, and therefore I don't go into the other groups. So I've decided to close that group rather than have it inactive. And I've asked people that if they want to go over to my Discord. What else has been going on? I have then been working on the frilly dishcloth. It wasn't my intention for it to be a pattern, but because I have made it and I've made quite a few of them, I decided that I would write it up. I would rather write it up and say it's ready and then show the pattern, rather than show the pattern, people ask and me get bored of it and it be like another thing I feel like I've not finished. And because all that feeling just weighs me down after a while. There's so many patterns along the way that I've been like, people have asked for, and I think, yeah, maybe I could, but my heart's not in it, and I should have just said, no, this is just for me, and be done with it. But anyway, we learn. People pleasing no more. So because Brad has been doing some extra hours in the evening, I have been trying to use those hours where possible to get bits of work done. So for example, if Teddy falls asleep at 8 or 9 o'clock and Brad's not due back till 11, I will spend half an hour sorting out the house. I'll spend half an hour working on something or the other, and then I'll maybe give myself an hour's chill out time. And it's working quite well. Like, I don't have a set format because sometimes Teddy will be up when Brad gets home, and at other times, if he's going bed early, I'll go bed early in case he starts his day at like 1 or 2. But in the most part, it is helping me because I'm finding these extra pockets of time. And because he's at work, rather than being like, oh, I'm just tired and I can't be bothered, which is generally how I feel, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, he's out there working for our family. I'm going to put the time in. So yes, this is a free pattern. so it's not going to generate me any money in terms of sales, but it is me putting the time into my business, and it is me being able to thank you lot for all the time that you've been putting in to HGDC as well, and I'm sure that more paid for patterns will follow. So I used a load of that time to get that done, and I've already called for testers, and I'm going to start that test either tonight or tomorrow depending on Teddy's bedtime. And the other thing that I have decided is with the sub squad, I want to make some changes. Hello, this is Editing Heather from my car studio. The changes that I'm about to talk you through, I was originally set that I was going to do, and now I'm not sure, but I just don't know. So I've left this clip in there so you can hear what my proposal was, but it doesn't mean that it is actually going to be happening. Right now, as of July, I have paused the sub squad to give myself a little bit of time to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. So I saw Wimpress Embroidery post that she was making changes to her subscription kit, and I knew that that's the route that I had been looking for. I've known for a while I need to make some changes, but I haven't been entirely sure what. I wasn't sure whether I needed to increase the frequency of the patterns, and I did consider that for some time, and actually I've decided that I need to go the other way and reduce the frequency. So from July, we are so close to July already. From July 2025, the pattern for the sub squad will be released every quarter. So that's every third month. So it'll be July, and then it'll be July, August, September will be all one quarter. And then October, November, December will be the second one, and it will come out in October. My reasoning for doing that is because I don't necessarily have a lot of designing time, and I love doing the sub squad, but I don't want it to be the only thing I do exclusively. I want to be able to make a bit of time so that I can put together my workbooks and my guides and the other different projects that I'm working on. My other reasoning for it is that people were falling behind, so to speak, on the patterns. Like having a pattern every 2 months meant that that was taking up a lot of their crochet time. And people were saying that they may need to pause or unsubscribe, which is fine, but I was thinking I don't want to encourage overconsumption for the sake of it, so why not just pull back? It does mean, however, that I am going to need to increase my sign-ups, because the way it currently works, going out every second month, I have enough sign-ups that it covers the outgoings of HGDC for the 2 months. But swapping to every third month, I will have a shortfall. So I think I currently have 27 or 28 sign-ups, which is like 280 quid. I need £120 a month to cover HGDC's basic outgoings for like website, email, and all of those other bits and pieces that I've got. And so I need to be seeing £320 every third month at a minimum. So I do need to find I do need to focus on adding another 4 or 5 people so that it is at least breaking even. And then from then I want to really focus on growing it so that not only is it just covering my outgoings, but I actually have a little bit extra there to play with. So that could go on photo shoots, it can go on tech editing, it can go on me taking money out of it and paying myself for my time. So that needs to be my focus, and that's why I've decided to reduce the amount of patterns. I know it sounds really counterintuitive because you think if you want more money you need to put more out, but I have really learned over the last couple of years that producing less and doing it in an intentional way actually produces more results. So as of July, I'm only going to put a pattern out every third month, and the other change I'm making to the sub squad is it's not going to just be bags, it is going to be all types of patterns. They will be quite involved patterns. It won't be like a simple cushion such as my comfort pattern. It will be something more involved, but it can be anything from bags, cushions. It could potentially be a garment if that's what I want to do. It could be home accessories, anything. It can be any pattern, and that just broadens it, because again, I felt like I could keep going with the bags, but at what point am I producing bags for the sake of it rather than because it's something I truly want to work on? And what are we going to do with all of these bags? Because I am not a materialistic person, so I don't feel the need to have a lot of items and a lot of stuff. I would rather have a couple of bags and some socks and some hand warmers and a blanket and a cushion and all of these different items that I can use, rather than having 20 bags. And now that we are 5 or 6 bags in, I need to alter the direction that we are going in to make this work. So if you are in the sub squad, then thank you so much for being here. I hope that you will still stick around. We will be having a pattern every 3rd month. And if you were thinking of joining the sub squad, maybe now or July is the time to start, because your payment will go through now in May, but the next one won't go through till July. And that means then after that, there won't be another payment until October. So across the 3 months, it's just £3.33. And in that you get the pattern. Then you can also join in our community chat, and then there's also the video chat as well. And it also does genuinely support me and mean that I can continue to make the free patterns and all the other bits and pieces that I'm working on and share them with you. And without that support, I'm not gonna lie, we do keep coming back to the topic, myself and Brad, we keep coming back to the topic of, should I go and get an employed job? Should I do part-time employment? Or should I continue with HGDC? Should I remove my website and anything else that has an overhead and then just run it as a hobby? And then that way, if I run everything through Etsy will take their fees, but then I would be at least £100 per month better off, and just have a hobby that makes me a little bit of money. Or do I stop completely and stop selling things, and then I don't have the tax returns element of it as well? And we do keep dipping in and out of that. I firmly believe that this is my forever career and that I do need to continue with it. But there is a question in my mind whether I am better off picking this up once my child or any future children I have are a bit older and I have more time to give, or do I just keep continuing? That might be Teddy. Do I just continue showing up in the way that I can right now? Because I don't know that in the future I will have more or less time until I'm there. So if you've been thinking of signing up, this is not to blackmail you or to make you think poor you, but the support really does make such a huge difference to our life. That's everything that I wanted to cover in this vlog. I have been doing a lot of stuff in my own personal life, and I will put a video up on, I will be putting up some more videos on these different topics as well. I've always, with HGDC, I've always come with the crochet first, but I'm finding that my life is just so multifaceted that I need to be sharing more of this, for not only for the crochet and the projects to make sense, but so that I feel more authentic when I'm here and when I'm talking to you. So whatever is a big part of my life, I want to share it. And on Instagram, I have started sharing a whole lot more on the pregnancy and birth of my son, the experiences I've had and the after effects of that. And there is a disconnect because I haven't been sharing that here on YouTube. I've just been sharing that on Instagram. So at some point I want to sort of connect it all by doing more videos on birth trauma. I want to continue doing more on prepping and all the things that we're doing. And a lot of that also feeds into the potential next big phase of our life, which potentially is baby 2. I am not pregnant, we are not actively trying, but if we want to have another child, there are so many things that we need to get put in place, and I would like to share a lot of that here. And then if baby 2 isn't meant to be, doesn't happen for whatever reason, anything that I have been putting in place will still really support and strengthen my family unit as it is now. And if I can't share all of those things, then I feel like you will miss out on a huge part of my life. So I know a lot of channels out there only share just the crochet, and that's originally what you were here for. But my favourite channels that I follow share a lot of their life. They share snippets of their home life, they share snippets of the things that are important to them, and that's the sort of channel that I want to be here as well. So thank you so much for everybody that has been joining in on those videos. I've had some really great comments. I'll put a comment of the week, yeah, the comment of the week here. And thank you for watching all my videos, no matter the topic, and joining in. And I hope to see you on my Instagram and on my Discord. And until then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Toodle pip.